Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be talking about the 1982 release Creepshow, which is a graphic novelization of the anthology film. This is a tribute to classic EC horror comics that was written by Stephen King and directed by George Romero. I'm going to show you what points to look for when trying to identify a first edition of Creepshow. Creepshow was released in various editions that I've seen, various printings, book club editions. It was recently re-released in the last few years, and all of the editions look quite similar. So it is important to know just exactly what to look for when trying to identify a first printing, because it is a bit of a unique item. So it was released by Plume, paperback. There's the front cover. It features nods to both George Romero and Stephen King. In the movie, Stephen King's son Joe Hill plays the little boy in the beginning and ending sequences. I don't think that's Joe Hill represented on the cover of this book, but that's okay. The interior art was by Bernie Wrightson, the famous Bernie Wrightson, and cover art was by Jack Kamen. It has one of the best Stephen King author photos that I've ever seen on the back cover. The back cover, I want to look for a price of, what does that say, $6.95, and it's under the category of illustrated fiction. I guess they didn't know the phrase graphic novel, or God forbid they should call it a comic book. But you inside the front cover, and then on the copyright page you look for the language, first printing July 1982, and there's a number line that includes the number 1, and that's how you know that you have found a legit first edition, first printing of Creepshow. It's in a I think it was maybe released in a hardcover edition overseas, but as far as the standard American English language edition, the trade paperback is the way to go. And it is significantly taller than your standard trade hardcover, taller and wider too. It's an interesting item, and it features representations of the 5 stories that were featured in the movie: Father's Day, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill, Crate, Something to Tide You Over, and They're Creeping Up on You, which includes one of, I won't spoil it, but the last scene, the last image from that story in the movie, oh man, stuck with me. Nightmare fuel, let me tell you, for years after I first watched it when I was a kid. But in true tribute style to the classic EC horror comics, the book is literally presented in graphic novel, or, you know, in this case, I think it would be fair to call them comic books, comic book format, because I think that's what they were going for. It's an interesting piece. The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill is the story it's based on the story Weeds by Stephen King, and it's the part of the movie where Stephen King actually acts, and it's kind of hilarious. He does a good job. As far as famous authors go, he's a pretty decent actor as well, and I think it's probably, well, I'd imagine it's most people's favorite segment of the movie, and it is mine as well. So there's further examples of the interior illustration, and it continues in this same vein. Throughout. But I have seen I've seen these with different printings. You can tell by the number line if whatever the lowest number is on the number line, that's the printing that you found. And first printing will have a 1, and second printing would stop with 2, and so on and so forth. And I've seen unpriced jackets, because I believe that it was released as a book club edition as well. But anyway, it's a pretty cool piece. It's definitely not, the first thing I would recommend that people who are just starting out as Stephen King collectors, not the first thing that I would recommend that you seek out, because it's more of a interesting diversion and a curiosity piece than anything. But eventually you're going to want to have it in your collection, because it's really fun, and it's really cool and interesting to look at. But anyway, thank you very much for your time, and I won't take up any more of your time, but I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.